Well, AI is like artificial intelligence, right? And so, it's probably if you just put it like that, it's a very broad spectrum. We already use a form of AI in the laboratory using semen analysis. The lens hook analyzer is actually able to quantify the sperm, the motility, and the morphology. And that's the one thing in the laboratory that makes it high complexity is the semen analysis. And so by letting AI take that over has lowered the requirements for being certified by CLIA because it's approved by the FDA to be a waived test. So if a human is not reading it, and the machine is reading it, then the FDA has shown that it's accurate and precise, and we're using that, and we can actually do more in the IVF. It takes 4 minutes to do a semen analysis versus 30 minutes, so it's faster. Some AIs right now are like semen sperm identification. SID is another AI that we have in the IVF lab that it is helping select the sperm for inseminating the egg with when we do ICSI. And so when we use that, it actually slows us down a little bit, but the idea is that it'll actually give us the best sperm. I actually had some of my students in the IVF Academy do a study around that using multiple different sperm preps that I know that a microfluidic device gives me the best sperm with the lowest DNA fragmentation. So my hypothesis was that that would select the best, that would be the best sperm, but it actually was the worst sperm. And so I went back and looked at the paper. And if you looked at the paper that was originally published around it, they did this one sperm prep for identifying the best sperm. So AI, you have to kind of be careful with it because you can actually train it to do one thing. If you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Whereas there's multiple different sperm preps. You have to teach the AI constantly to be improving it. You can't just make it and then sell it and hope that it works. It's constantly improving. Which you think about, it's like the iPhone. What are we up to? The iPhone 17 now. The idea is that each one comes out a little better, and so I think AI. That's why I'm excited to be in this discussion because AI is you got to start somewhere. You got to come out with version 1 and version 2, and it takes people like me kind of doing some research around that to help identify that. Well, the limitations that I personally see is the cost is one, because what it does is it adds cost to the IVF cycle, actually. So there's really great AI technologies out there. I just, talking about a couple, fertility is around $150 per patient, which doesn't sound like a lot, but you have to add that to the cost. And if you add this AI and that AI and multiple AIs, very much like opening the apps on your phone, if each one of those apps that you apply to the IVF cycle, now you've added another $1,000 to the cycle. And ultimately, when you buy $100,000 microscope, you can depreciate that out over 10 years. And that actually is not very expensive if you look at it that way. But if you look at AI, it can get very expensive if you add that. And so instead of looking at it like if I was smart enough to create an AI platform, I would do say buy the embryo or something like that, $1 an embryo or 50 cents an embryo. Very much like the app that I use for my workouts or an app that I use to follow my nutrition. Like I pay for these apps, but I pay an annual subscription for it. And I don't mind doing that versus every time I step on a scale, is it going to charge me, $10 or something like that?